The gift that keeps on giving about Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith finds his way in these situations, and he goes viral just about each and every day. First, the Caitlin Clark and the Caitlin Clark Angel Reese situation. Then Shannon Sharp about his deal. Then he's talking about his own deal. This man is just a walking viral moment. But anyway, makes it great for us content creators, particularly if we don't have a lot of stuff to talk about. But Stephen A. Smith is under fire again. Apparently, Doug Gottlieb, who used to work with Stephen A. Smith at Fox Sports 1, said some things, called Stephen A. Smith a race baiter. And Stephen A. Smith, he basically paraphrased, Stephen A. Smith is no better than Donald Trump. All right, so let's just get in the article. Awful announcing. We're going to quote from that article. Doug Gottlieb unloads on the race baiter Stephen A. Smith. This is honestly pure evil. The only one who's making it out a racial thing is Stephen A. Smith. He's creating this honestly pure evil, and that's what bad people do. Doug Gottlieb accused Stephen A. Smith of race baiting for reporting black NBA coaches are not happy that JJ Redick is the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, and they're pointing to the fact that the reason why they don't like it, because JJ Redick and LeBron James have a podcast together. All right. Last week, Smith questioned the timing of James and Redick's launching their basketball-centric podcast, Mind Your Own Game podcast, during the NBA season, particularly while Darvin Ham was on the hot seat for the Lakers' head coaching job. Smith then followed and then take up the claim he heard from black NBA coaches who took this issue with the podcast. They didn't like the issue with JJ Redick being a podcaster with LeBron James. And I'm assuming, and I'm paraphrasing, they don't like it that he gets the job. And they're basically paraphrasing, he's getting the job because, LeBron, he's a host of LeBron James podcast. Recently, Gottlieb ripped Smith on Fox Sports 1 radio for race baiting. Let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. Gottlieb begins. Stephen A. Smith is a race baiter. He's disgraceful, saying on national television, disrespectful, that JJ Redick and LeBron James are clearly friends. They have a relationship. They have a mutual respect with one another. The only one who's making this out of a racial thing is Stephen A. Smith. He is creating this, and honestly, it is pure evil. It's what bad people do. This is just bad from the perspective that Donald Trump strokes the white national flame the same way. There's no difference. No difference. None. Gottlieb continues, making this out to be somehow a racial thing. How could you do a podcast with JJ Redick because you're friends? Have respect for him. LeBron James is also friends and respected by Ty Lue, who coached LeBron James when they won a championship. That one's okay because Ty Lue, a former NBA player, is black. JJ Redick, a former NBA player, is white. How is this any different? You're not allowed to be friends with white people? Smith bring the race into the conversation. Smith recently commented on Redick and starting to sound similar to one-sided vitriol that he had with Max Kellerman. Redick apparently he's leaving ESPN and First Take for the Lakers job instead of celebrating with his colleague getting an NBA coaching opportunity. Smith spends his time condemning the podcast with him and LeBron James, questioning the fit of the Los Angeles Lakers. and nothing. He's an acquired taste. All right. Now, Stephen A. Smith did go on his show, the Stephen A. Smith show on YouTube, to clarify some things, and basically saying that, in a nutshell, he's not really talking to, he's really not discrediting Doug or saying that what Doug's saying is false. He basically, and I hate when people do this. I really hate when people do this. They, instead of tearing down the argument, they tear down the individual. Because immediately, Stephen A. Smith talked about, yeah, I used to work with Doug Gottlieb. I didn't too much like him. I just worked with him. He was never on his radar. And then he goes into, he's not popular than me. He doesn't do more views than me. He doesn't have more subscribers than me. I mean, he goes in a roundabout way to destroy more about Doug Gottlieb, the character, instead of attacking and addressing the issue at hand that Doug has put in front of us. I will say this. I'm not a huge Stephen A. Smith fan. You know, sometimes I can watch him. Sometimes I can't watch him. I do feel like Stephen A. Smith, if he would have just said NBA coaches, or not named the coaches, but if he would have just simply said, hey, look, NBA coaches don't like this move of JJ Redick getting the head coaching gig of the Los Angeles Lakers because he's good friends with LeBron James, and this kind of shows that it shows a little favoritism. If I was Stephen A. Smith, I would ask him this: who in their right mind wants the head coaching job? They tried to get Hurley, try to get him from the collegiate college basketball. He was using the Los Angeles Lakers as a footnote so he can get paid at the job he's currently already in. No one wants to be the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. All the teams that are pursuing the NBA title are not interested. All the head coaches that are borderline, maybe they're like maybe one or two players away from getting the job, don't want the head coaching gig. And coaches that are in these, with these teams that are below 500 are not interested in the head coaching job. Stephen A. Smith acts like the Los Angeles Lakers is this prestige job that the opportunity doesn't come often. Ever since LeBron James has been with the Los Angeles Lakers, they're on their fourth head coach. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hasn't LeBron James only been with the Lakers for like 5 years? So basically, he's pretty much had a different coach every single year as he's been a member of the Los Angeles Lakers. I think LeBron's been there for 5 years, maybe been there a little bit longer. Okay, I do apologize if I got it wrong, but still, the point remains. Stephen A. Smith acts like this is a prestigious job everyone is clamoring for. Everyone is, staying away from this job. Because what does this job has to offer, Stephen A. Smith? You got an aging superstar of LeBron James. You don't know how many years you got with him, maybe 1, possibly 2 years. There's talk that they're willing to draft LeBron James' son. And, no disrespect to Bronny James, but Bronny James is not a superstar. He's not a blue chipper that's going to change a franchise. I mean, he's just not a player that's going to contribute in a major or a small way to help this team get more wins. I mean, it's a great storyline. Father and son duo on an NBA team. Yeah, that's great and all, but is this the best basketball move or the best basketball decision that's going to make this team any better? No. You're looking at AD. You're not sure if AD wants to carry the Los Angeles Lakers name when LeBron James does retire. Think about it. AD, he could theoretically play 7 or 8 more years. Does he want to spend the rest of his years with the Los Angeles Lakers? That's going to be a lottery team. You got Bronny James. That's not going to take you anywhere. LeBron's probably going to retire in the next, probably at the end of this calendar basketball season, once he achieves his bucket list of playing alongside his son. Because what else for LeBron James to do? He's got his accolades. He got his personal achievements. He did win 4 titles, even though he lost 6 times. People, missed that point. And there's nothing more he can do to add to this resume. His resume is already hardening up, paws like concrete. I mean, there's nothing more he can do. He's not going to win a title anytime soon, unless he goes to another team, and I don't see the likelihood of that either. So Stephen A. Smith makes it sound like all of these coaches were clamoring for this Los Angeles Lakers job. Okay? And then what makes it worse, he says black head coaches. What black head coach is dancing around the ideal of wanting this job? There's a reason why JJ Redick got the job in the first place, and it has little to do with LeBron James. They don't have no other options. They have 0 options. Okay? You mean to tell me if Jason Kidd wanted to leave if Jason Kidd wanted to leave the Dallas Mavericks, you think Jason Kidd is going to take the Lakers job? Ime Udoka, he just won the title with the Boston Celtics. You think he wants the Los Angeles Lakers job? Eric Spoelstra, he's been there and done that with LeBron James in Miami. You think he wants the Los Angeles Lakers job? Darvin Ham didn't want the Los Angeles Lakers job in his final year. He knew it was already kaput. It was already over. He didn't want the Los Angeles Lakers job. Where were they going to find this incredible black head coach that always wanted to coach LeBron James in the Los Angeles Lakers? Where is that guy? That guy does not exist. Black, white, or whatever. Why you think they're, Hurley? Why do you think they was clamoring for Hurley? Because no other coaches in their right mind would take this job. I'm sorry, Stephen A. Smith. I really think Stephen A. Smith is a hater. He's sort of like a borderline hater. I really think Stephen A. Smith hates it when his colleagues either gets the best of him or move on and do bigger and better things. And I think it's more to the fact that him and JJ Redick, they really didn't have a friendly relationship on and off the set. I just think he was putting up with JJ. Low-key, I think if Stephen A. Smith had his way, he would have already took JJ Redick off of First Take. But JJ Redick made a name on First Take to the point where Stephen A. Smith couldn't pull that card like he did with Max Kellerman. And I think that's more to the fact of Stephen A. Smith. Is this race baiting? It's borderline, but I wouldn't want to go all the way saying this is racist and this is what evil people do. I wouldn't take it that far with what Doug Gottlieb said. If that's his opinion, that's his opinion. But it sounds very personal on Stephen A. Smith's side. And I don't know if it's personal because JJ Redick has a relationship with LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith doesn't. I don't know if it's personal because JJ Redick has gotten the position of head coach and that infuriates Stephen A. Smith. I don't know if that's the case. But I don't, if Stephen A. Smith would have said head coaches, there's plenty of head coaches that wanted that position. he would be pretty much misleading and lying to us, because I just don't see that coach in the NBA circuit that wants that type of headache. When you got all these expectations for the Los Angeles Lakers to do well, but they don't have the talent. And I always say this, there are some teams in the NBA that are so good they can't be a lottery team, but they're not good enough to win an NBA title. And the Los Angeles Lakers are below that percentage. The Los Angeles Lakers, the only reason why they're going to be good is because they're the Los Angeles Lakers and they have LeBron James and they have Bronny James. But when all of that wears out, what the Los Angeles Lakers are going to do? At the end of the day, I think JJ Redick, if he wants to try his chops in coaching, go right ahead. And this could be like a reference he can use when she's no longer the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. It sounds like to me the Los Angeles Lakers are rebuilding, and let's just rebuild with somebody that's not experienced. He can grow with the organization. We're gonna start stockpiling picks, and we're gonna make this thing bigger. I mean, we're gonna go into the draft, pick these players. Because I'm hearing that the NBA draft 2 years from now is going to be crazy good, where there's going to be a solid player in every pick, particularly in the first round. So 2 years from now, okay, JJ Redick will have 2 years under his belt. LeBron will possibly be gone, and maybe AD will be gone, and they will be adding more draft picks, and they will make the team a little bit more better. But this is clearly a rebuild. I think Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss has look at the reality of their future, and their future does not look bright. It looks bright for the next year or two, but it doesn't look bright down the road. And I think that's it. And yeah. So I wouldn't go as far as calling him a race baiter. I will go as far as saying he's full of it. And Stephen A. Smith didn't counter anything what Doug Gottlieb said. He spent like the first 10 minutes just trying to destroy Doug Gottlieb. And I'm not a big Doug Gottlieb fan either. If I had to choose between the two, I'd rather choose Stephen A. Smith over Doug Gottlieb. Watching wise. But yeah. So guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. I'll see you when I see you. Deuces.